Hi, I'm Rachel Mealor from the University of Wyoming Cooperative Extension Service, and I'm here with Rex Lockman. He is with the Laramie County Conservation District, and we're here on the Adams property this afternoon. And we were asked from the Adams to come out and just do a basic range assessment, kind of conducting a rangeland inventory. Rex, why don't you tell us what a rangeland inventory is?
Just a basic assessment of the plants and animals in the area on the property to determine if it's in a good, healthy condition.
So this morning we sort of walked around and just got a basic idea of the plant communities that were around us. Again, we're working in a rangeland system, so not so much on the forested area. So if you look behind us, there's kind of a sea of sagebrush, and this is pretty characteristic of what you see on this property. We also, before doing anything further, we talked with the Adams and got a feel for what their goals and objectives were. It sounded like they were largely interested in wildlife populations coming on their property. So that entails keeping a good vegetative stand and a lot of diversity, plant diversity, so you can accommodate a lot of different wildlife species.
There's a lot of moose and elk and deer use on this area, and so we're looking for some of the components of the habitat that would help keep them in the area as well. The Adams aren't doing any grazing and predominantly just looking at the habitat for the wildlife benefit. Overall, I think it looked really good.
Yeah, we determined that, as Rex said, because there's not a lot of intensive management going on, that we would steer them in a direction as far as monitoring to make sure they maintain that biodiversity and that stand of vegetation and the production values to keep those wildlife species, elk, moose, deer, coming on the property.
A simple way to track changes in your landscape over time is by using photo points. You can take a photograph at the same time year after year after year to track some of those really small changes that maybe you wouldn't notice if you don't have a photograph to look back to. We're here in late September, and as you can see from this grass plant, it's already set seed and it's going into its dormancy phase. Ideally, when we come out and take photo points, we want to have the growth, the plant in the growth period that it's still green, maybe has set seed, and don't forget to take that picture during the same growth period of those plants year after year. So when selecting your area that you're going to take your photo point at, you want to look for the same vegetation type. As you can see, this area has a good sagebrush component and quite a few of the same grasses. So I would select this place. I also want to consider having a picture of the horizon. So I want to have a little bit of a skyline and a landmark that I can come back to and return to within my photo. So I'm taking it at the same place year after year. So that tree off to the right is a really good landmark that I can use to line up my photo when I come back and take it again. I like to have a GPS to go ahead and mark my location that I'm at. So I stand where my photo point will be taking, make a waypoint, and mark my GPS location on my notes. I also like to document which direction I'm headed in, that I'm taking the photo. So in this case, it's in the southeast, and I'm going to go ahead and record that as well. So there's a few different options for marking your photo point and where you take that picture. One option is using a T-post. This is a fairly easy to recognize from a roadside or other area, so you can go back and find your photo point relatively easy year after year. Another less conspicuous tool to use is a piece of PVC. You can just drive this into the ground and utilize this or a T-post. Either work. This one may be a little bit harder to find, and a T-post is a little bit more recognizable. So the main point of all this is just to track changes in your landscape over time. Photo point monitoring is just one simple way to do this. There are various other methods to do monitoring on your landscape, and your local cooperative extension service can help you identify what might fit best for your situation.